on the part that others will see when they join us. All right. All right. So welcome to the Coincidence Cafe. This is a monthly series of the Coincidence Project, and we've been meeting for about 3 years now. We have new hosts every time that help us keep things fresh and new. Today, one of our hosts is Jenna Lemaire, who's also known as she's also known as the Synchronicity Fairy on TikTok, and she's done something kind of unique, as far as I know, amongst people on the planet right now, which is posted a video a day for an entire year on Synchronicity, sharing all kinds of meaningful coincidence stories and experiences that she's had, her theories and questions and observations and experience, and people have posted in response. Through that process, she gained over 144,000 followers on TikTok, which is a huge following. And some of her videos went viral and were seen by as many as 4.9 million plus people. So up to 5 million people seeing the same synchronicity story is quite remarkable. And as far as I know, you are the only person who's done this in this way. And so we're just delighted to have Jenna be part of our family here at the Coincidence Project. She's helped to host cafe once before, and she's come here today to help guide us in kind of an experimental and really innovative design of the session. And she's a spontaneous and experienced facilitator. So Jenna, I hope you'll come back if we give you lots and lots of free reign to do whatever you think you want to do with that group. And we'd love to know where you are all located today on the planet. So if you can, post in the chat where you are joining us from. We often do this as our icebreaker, but it stays really fun to know because it's great to see where people are joining us from. So we've got Toronto, we've got Pasadena, California, Portland, Oregon, Boulder, Colorado, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, Michigan, Massachusetts, Yorkshire, England. Let's see, we've got Chicago, Illinois. I'm in Virginia. I know we've got some other Virginians in the house joining us from the Netherlands, from Virginia Beach, Los Osos, California. Lake Elsinore, California, which sounds like a magical castle location in the mountains near a lake. So welcome from across the North America and across UK and Europe. We love to see folks from everywhere. We hope you'll share our Coincidence Cafe with others. And the main way we hope you'll share is by spreading your own stories and experiences. Keep telling your experiences to others as we work to make coincidence a household name. Serendipity, synchronicity, meaningful coincidence occur everywhere in the world to people of every age, every background. There's no criteria, there's no difference that excludes people from this type of experience. They're very universal, and start when we're really young and go every day of our lives. So we all share in this, and in that it's something that brings us all together. And that's why the vision statement for the Coincidence Project is to illuminate the invisible currents that connect and unify us. So they may remain invisible, but we hope to make them more and more visible. And that's why we're here. And oh, we've got someone joining from Costa Rica. Welcome. We love to see Central and South America represented as well. So, bienvenidos. Welcome, and we're delighted to be here. And without further ado, here I turn it over to Jenna to take it away.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see everyone. And I think what is going to feel best is if we all connect into those exact energies she was talking about. So I'm going to lead you through a little meditation. So you want to find a place where you're comfortable, taking in a nice breath. And for right now, go ahead and let anything go that is from past or future, bringing all of your attention right here. Begin to really feel everyone else that's on the call. Let's open up our hearts. I want to play with the word meaningful today. It's synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, but let's break down the word and let's start keeping your eyes closed. We're going to feel this word in a few different ways, okay? So first, we're going to start on one end where our body may feel like it's sinking and it may feel almost uncomfortable. And I'm going to use the word meaningless. So when I say meaningless, in almost that hopeless way, everything is meaningless. Feel your body. Everything is meaningless. Notice any tension. I'm going to change how I say it now. Everything is meaningless. A little different energy. Everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless. And feel all of these different ways that we say this now as we go up into this neutral space. Instead of seeing everything as meaningless in a hopeless way, just as if we're taking labels off of everything, where we can join in this beautiful quantum soup. So feel yourself relaxed in neutrality. We're at that 0 point. Taking a nice breath there. What if all the objects around you had no meaning? Now from this place, we're going to climb up on the energy scale. We're going to play with the sentence, everything is meaningful. Feel that in your body. Take a breath. Everything is meaningful. Everything is meaningful. Everything is meaningful. Feel the choice. Take a breath in with that choice. Everything is meaningful. And when you hear that with the biggest smile, it may even feel good to kind of allow yourself to smile or curl up a little bit on the ends with your mouth. And think of things that are meaningful. It may be a sweet little kitty, somebody that you love, something that you own, something you've done. Just really feel meaningful, 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 meaningful. And now from this place, I want you to now pick a number between 1 and 30. And notice if the first number that came to your mind is sort of that go-to number that you always do. And if it was, I want you to let that one go and let a new one that didn't really have meaning before arise. Now I want you to see that number and I want you to infuse more and more meaning and choice into this number. You may see it repeated. You may see it in different colors. Now place that number inside of your heart. And now we're going to bring ourselves back to that neutral place in between high meaning and the meaningless, going back into neutral, bringing your attention right here and now to where you're sitting. And before you blink open your eyes in a moment, I want you to feel around in your room or wherever you are. And when you open your eyes, whatever you lock your eyes on the first thing, I want you to look at it and infuse more meaning into it than you ever have before. And we're going to do this now, taking a final deep breath in and out. 3, 2, 1. Blink open your eyes. And allow yourself to just kind of pinpoint something. For me, it's just the top of my curtain rod. And I want you to look at whatever it is you're looking at as if it's the most awe-inspiring thing that you have ever seen. Now take that, invite that into your heart too. You know, I found from the Synchronicity series that the more that I did this every single day, and the more that I would get people's responses to each video that I put out, the more magic happened in my actual life. It allowed me to, there would be like synchronicity within synchronicity within synchronicity, and all of the engagement that I had in the comments, it just upped my game. I already was really big on synchronicity to begin with. That's why I did it. But I just found that swimming in meaning and allowing myself to fuel it created more appreciation for just all objects and all things around me. I found life became even more beautiful in this past year. And so the number that I'm going to go now to a synchronicity sort of like bingo card. Before the call today, I went through and selected at random, kind of channeled through, and I selected 30 stills of different synchronicity fairy videos. That is a TikTok series primarily. A lot of it went on YouTube too. But from this, uh, it was all picked at random. And so now all of you, for the number that you picked, are going to find what your kind of bingo card is. So I'm going to turn it over to Juliet to put up the bingo card so that you guys can all find out what yours was. And there's a picture of it that can. So in the chat is where it's written out to be a little more clear, and then you'll be able to see, I think if she does a screen share, or I don't know if that can come up, of the photo. And if the photo doesn't work, that's okay too. It already will say it. There we go. All right. So this is just an example if you guys have not ever seen any of my series. I kind of have this wacky series where I try to make them fun and interesting. I wear different glasses all the time. And so I encourage you also, you can go and just, hashtag whatever the word is that is on this, and you can watch the full video. I have a full playlist because, again, it was done over an entire year's time. And so yeah, these are just kind of showing some of the symbols. The more that you get like a picture of it, and the more you see the word in your mind's eye, the more that you repeat it a few times. But then you want to just completely let go after you have, I always say, just shove some meaning in it. Make sure you put it into that, like how we juiced it up, the number. I want you to juice up now the word or the concept that you had in there. And this is going to be your little precious synchronicity that there's not a time limit on. It's more about like what happens and the zing that you get when it does come into your life. It will definitely feel like meaningful to you. And then if you're not already connected with me, I always love to hear your stories, so that you can always email me or share how this came into your life. And we're going to now go into some breakout groups. So make sure that you um, know what yours is. And then in the breakout groups, you can just share anything that happened as far as, and we can come back from that. You can share anything that happened for, like, in the meditation, how it felt in your body. If you want to share about that, you can share with the group. If you already something came up from what you've learned about either your number or what was assigned from it. And then we're going to grab our popcorn, and I'm going to do a highlight reel of some more of the top things that happened within the Synchronicity Fairy series when we come back from the group. So did you want to add anything else to that, Juliet?
Yeah, we'll let people have 15 minutes to kind of chat and get to know each other, respond to Jenna's prompts here, share what arose for you in the practice. And if you have, associations, you can maybe share that or, yeah, talk about the questions that you might have for all of us, for Jenna, when we come back together. So after 14 minutes, you'll get a pop-up that this gives you one more minute. I'm going to post the list one more time in the chat here. So it's the most recent thing. I'm going to get just the list 1 through 30. Yeah, if you had a number that wasn't 30 come up, maybe pick one of the component numbers and select one symbol to work with from the numbers that arose. And yeah, if you're not familiar with it, or you're not sure what the number is, ask your partners, because they may know even if you're not familiar with that term. So we'll just see what arises, and then we'll be back together in 15 minutes. So I'm going to open the rooms now, and we'll see you on the flip side.
I'm back. Yay.
Hi, I think I'll add the spotlight for me and for you again, Jenna. There. Welcome. Yeah, we had some people even join more recently as we were entering close to the breakout. And one thing, just to reiterate, in case people missed the comment that Jenna had made, this is like a keyword of a story that she had shared on TikTok. So these are based on 30 of her videos. And even if you don't have a TikTok account, I think you can visit the site on your phone or on your computer. And if you put into the search hashtag, the # hashtag, and then your keyword like sombrero or whatever it is, you should be able to find her video. So Synchronicity Fairies video of that term, and then you can see the story. So the story may end up having some more resonance with you that the word may or may not have had. So that's something we encourage you to do later, is just visit it and check out that story and see if the video connects in any way or prompts anything for you in any way. So yeah, back over to you, Jenna.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I loved our group. Uh, I love talking about, I do want to mention because it got brought up a little bit in our group. I like using the example when it comes to synchronicity symbols and that kind of thing. And maybe you've all heard this before because you're all obviously into this kind of thing. But the best example is like if you're out at a restaurant and while you're looking at the menu, right? There's a very different energy that's sort of unresolved, that has kind of a choice and like a hope energy. But then as soon as somebody comes and they've taken your order, feel the difference in your body of how you were when there's all these different choices and when you were sort of unsure. And then the second that you'd make it that fact where you'll say, I'll have the mac and cheese or whatever, please. Then in those times, it is done. It is so. You go into the energy of it's in the kitchen, it's being made. And then you just go about your normal conversation, right? So another thing that would happen a lot in the Synchronicity Fairy videos is after a day or two or whatever, sometimes people would come and say, oh, I never saw it, or it hasn't happened or something like that. And the second that that happens, it becomes measured and it's measured in after the fact. And then that cuts it off immediately. Um, because it's giving the energy of fact and not having happened. So I just like knowing that when it comes to these, just know that it's cooking in the kitchen, and whatever your word was, the more that you can sort of imagine it in your mind's eye in different fonts. Imagine what it may smell like, taste like, what does it feel like? Imagine being it. And then once you've done all those things, you set it, forget it, make it be cooking in the kitchen. So, and then two of the people in my group both picked the same number, which was kind of cool. um, and then I wanted to just say one other thing before we do the compilation video, which I'm excited to share you. I saw it looks like Shanice in the chat had mentioned broken blood vessel. Wow. And I want to say one of my favorite synchronicity stories over the year of doing it was in one morning, it was one I think I had done in May. Uh, in May, I had a little broken blood vessel in my own eye, and so that's why I was like, oh, I must be this today, and I'll do that. And then it wasn't until October where I was having a conversation with someone, and they said, "How many of your synchronicity fairy video, uh, like which ones have you not had happen?" Because I was so in the synchronicity game that they would either be the same day or the next day, or like maybe 3 days tops, but all of them. I got all of them all the time. And I was like, I have to go back. So I went through my list, and you know what? The only one I hadn't seen yet from May all the way to October, it hadn't happened, was broken blood vessels. And I told my friend, yeah, broken blood vessels. I hadn't seen that yet. The next morning, I woke up with an entire broken blood vessel again, worse than the first one that was in May. So I think that's kind of a funny one. Um, Anyway, so we're doing a take on, we went into the word meaningful and how you can say it in different levels and that kind of thing, and the frequency and how it feels. And now I want to go into the meaningful coincidence part. And the word coincidence to me just has that awe-inspiring feeling, the feeling of surprise, that shock feeling. And that is the kind of feeling that to me is so addictive. There's nothing better than when a friend will call up and go, oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened. Right. And so I want you all to grab your popcorn, because the next thing we're going to do is just see a compilation video of, I went through and edited and chopped it up the best I could so that I could get all of the top moments of, well, actually, just a caveat. They took music away on TikTok. So many of my videos had music behind it, some of my top videos that are now taken down. So they weren't all the best of the best, but the best of the best I could get my hands on now. So there's a 10-minute video of you guys being able to watch the highlights. And what I invite you to do is, one, any of the things that you're hearing in this, also you can add to things you can expect or hope to see in your reality. But also, I want you to really feel the energy of the people and capitalize on it and then bring it with you throughout your day today after our call. And so I guess without further ado, do you want to do that now, or does that feel good? You can watch that and then talk about it afterward.
Yep, I'll bring that up.
Awesome.
All right. Is the sound coming through for everyone? Jenna, are you hearing the sound?
I can't hear the sound.
You can hear me, but not her?
I don't hear the video yet.
Okay. Let me go back. I'm going to have to hit the right setting for that. All right. Here we go, guys.
Showed up on my feed talking about signs from the universe and that I would see something that had to do with Fonzie or Henry Winkler. Guess what meditation popped up? A meditation called the Fonzie effect.
I saw that last week and I was like, there's no way. And then yesterday, he's spotted in my smallish town.
I was scrolling through Facebook looking at items that are worth more than what they were back then, and this was it. It's the fawns. It's the fawns. Exactly what she had said in her video. Or balloon. Wow!
Well, here we are a couple hours later doing laundry. This was in my daughter's laundry basket.
See an image of a pig with wings or something? Let me know when it happened.
It happened. And what was the first thing I seen? It was like the universe was like, Jen, this is exactly where you need to be right now.
And pigs fly.
Right. So this happened yesterday. I stopped at the gas station to get a new cord for my new car that I had to just get. And the cashier had a lapel pin of an orange pig that was an orange flying pig.
I got goosebumps. There's a scene that they're pulling a car from a river or a lake or something, and the tag of the car said "When pigs fly," and it had a little pig with wings. You guys, my jaw dropped. I got goosebumps.
I don't know how to feel right now. I don't know. It's a flying pig.
Yeah. Synchronicity fairy. Hell yeah. My son just put this sticker on my cheek.
Full commercial came on and it had a pig with wings. And I thought, okay, that's a little too much. And then I get in my car to leave a little later, and the first song that pulls up when I get my Spotify up is When Pigs Fly. Like, what?
And pigs fly. I got my little symbol for when pigs fly.
And it happened.
Fly, then you'd be correct. Also, pigs would fly.
My coworker just came back and gave me a pig with wings. I don't like pigs. I don't collect them.
No, but for real. When pigs fly! So I was like, if you're thinking about it, just scroll, and I see when pigs fly. Fairy! My fairy!
Her reaction is everything. This is how I would be.
There are so many people around me looking at me like I am crazy right now because I was just like, and I like took my phone out like frantically.
Glad you did.
Oh, I'm buying it.
I saw that video by the Synchronicity fairy, and she said to watch for the symbol of when pigs fly, and I thought, I'm never going to see that. Never going to happen. Then I get to a hotel, and what's the first thing I see on the bedspread? I mean, that's unmistakable, right? Even the nightlight in the bathroom? A pig with wings. I don't know. Maybe there's something to it.
Cotton candy.
I was cleaning up cards from Taboo, and this is the first one I picked up.
There's one left.
And this is the only one I picked up.
Weird. I was on Pinterest.
Binge watching movies.
Oh, Robin, this is my friend Vivian.
Dude. Literally.
I saved this as a joke, and I saw that, and I was like,
Cotton candy.
I could not have had a clear sign than this.
Shut up. Shut up. Look. That's a cotton candy chopstick. I was like, cotton candy? I saw that today. It's literally on the floor. Well, I used a restroom when I...
Oh, you're just not even going to believe this. But the synchronicity that you were talking about in the video that I'm referencing was broken glasses. And I had looked down and damned if I didn't see broken glasses. Can you believe that?
Skeleton hands. Seeing the Eye of Horus, or just hearing Horus.
Jenna, we really have to stop meeting this way. This one's special. So quick caveat. I collect a lot of Egyptian things. I love anything Egyptian. It's been since I was a kid. Has been one that's been outside of my reach for a very long time. It is this Wings of Horus table by Design Toscano. I cannot buy this piece online. So I had all but given up on getting this. It's just something that I wanted, and I do search the internet for it, but I was like, I'm not, I don't think I'm going to find it. Look on Facebook, and lo and behold, what do I find? Someone in my state, in my city, is selling this table. And now I have it. And as if that is not enough to make you think the synchronicity is true, it is sitting beneath a chime with the Eye of Horus on my window, which I didn't even know that I had there until just now.
She said the word was finicky. English is not my first language. So when she said that word, I was like, all right, like, I guess. And I heard it today. Twice. So I need to find this lady.
Boom. You have a...
This was yesterday I saw this.
What
What a synchronicity fairy is. I think that's what that woman called herself. Never see the word finicky.
Less than 24 hours ago. Maybe 12 hours ago. Finicky. What?
Just be careful with the knob because it can be a little finicky sometimes. And I oh, that's so weird.
I had to rewind when I heard this. They can become finicky eaters. Like it says the word finicky right there, if you can see it. These things never work for me. I guess it works.
Facts. His conversation just got real finicky. What? Stop playing with me. Hold on. You got my follow.
I'm actually so annoyed that she was right. And what shows up on a dumpster in the background of a fight scene? Have you guessed it? Finicky. Right there. I screamed.
I was skeptical.
But it was the next fucking day.
That video, she gives you the word finicky. And all of a sudden I hear this.
But it was a finicky ingredient because as it heats.
So that was fun.
The word she put out there was finicky. No one in my circle, in my life, ever uses finicky. And lo and behold, my professor says, don't worry if things don't seem, how you expected. Some of these drones are what? Finicky. And I was like,
You have a word.
It happened watching a movie. The girl goes, my name's Amy Finicky. Excuse me?
I saw this video 2 days ago, and my friend just said the word finicky, and now I'm scared.
Finicky. Finicky.
babe, are you impressed with my TikTok adventures?
Touche.
All right. Well, I guess if you want to see that in its entirety, it is up on YouTube too. I think it just was like the Zoom, but you still could feel, I think, the energy behind it. And I love it, you guys. It has been the most rewarding thing absolutely ever. And then I just want to I want to take, hold on, let's see where to go next. Let me just feel into it. So what's coming through, I just want to take a second before we go into the next breakout to take a moment. And we went through the meaningful part earlier. And now I want to go again with the surprise, the coincidence, the part that and I want you to feel inside, take a breath. And close your eyes if you want. And I want you to feel the allowance. I'm allowed to feel surprised. And just notice what comes up. Because surprise is such a big element to this. And a lot of us have mixed energy when it comes to surprises. And I have found in working with the clients that I do that sometimes we give off mixed energy on things. And so once we get more comfortable with surprise, we're able to also invite in, I believe, more synchronicity too. So I can't help but use this opportunity right now to just take a moment to see how your body responds to the idea of surprise. And you may even say, kind of in your head, I'm allowed to feel surprised in my body. And see if that feels true. And feel if there's any resistance. And for some of you, it may automatically bring up a time in your life, and see if for you, surprise has meant something more negative, or does surprise mean something more positive? Do you feel uncomfortable with surprise? And you may rate it on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the highest amount of comfortability with the idea of surprise. And we don't need to change where you are, but just bringing up the awareness of it right now, I think, is a big thing. So take a moment to breathe in and out. You can blink open your eyes. And then over the course of, the next day or before you're going to bed tonight or something, I want you to really think about what surprise means to you. What does it mean? Are you able, do you feel comfortable allowing in things that are awe-inspiring? And if not, it kind of will point you directly to the times in your life that are inviting in healing for you. So, I think we can take another moment now you want to do another breakout on this, and what we can do is just see what your thoughts were on watching the compilation video. How did it feel? Anything you want to share, it may be too intimate, but if you feel like you want to share and just have somebody to be able to say, gosh, you know what? I realized my body kind of, I don't know if I can feel surprised, and you just want another person to talk about with that, or if you want to use the time to just share another story that made you feel the way that it did to these people in their coincidence or synchronicity stories. So if that sounds good, we can break out. Is that good, Juliet?
Sure. And we'll have just a little less time than before. We'll do like 11 minutes and then an extra 1 minute pop up to give you time to wrap up. So about 3 or 4 minutes per partner to share your feelings, your observations, what's been arising watching the videos, and then this activity on surprise. And we'll see you all as we return.
And we're back. And we're back.
Auto muted. Hello, everybody. Glad you're back. Thanks for staying with us for this program. We thought at this point, we'd love to hear from some of you about whatever's arisen so far, or maybe what you talked about in the breakouts, or it could be something new that you haven't shared yet. Be glad to hear from people. So you're welcome to use the raise hand function like Bunny's doing. That's a good way for us to keep track of who might want to share. Bunny, come off mute and let us know what's happening.
Hello, thank you. When we went on our first breakout room, I have to share this. So the other two people that I was with were Nestor and Anne Helen. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, sorry. And for me, the first thing was that my legal name is Helen Ann. So being in the room where her name was Anne Helen was like I shared that right away. But then we shared what our numbers were that we picked, and we picked 23, 24, and 25. So that was just incredible. And something that's happening to me to kind of, because I know that there's such a thing as, confirmation bias and synchronicities and stuff like that. And it's not ever been a bother for me, but I'm starting to, and I shared with Jenna last week, I'm starting to get the zing from something before I see a video on TikTok with that symbol. So last week I was watching a YouTube video about scientific things, and it talked about warp drive, and I got a zing and I went, I haven't seen a synchronicity fairy video about that. And the next day or 2 days later, she shared one from last year, and it was about warp drive. And even today, smoke rings, I noticed them last night in my burning coffee. And today, 24 was smoke signals or smoke rings. So that was really cool for me.
That's wonderful, Bunny. Giancarlo, how about you next?
Good morning. Today was so cool. Both of the calls felt like the movie inside of the movie inside of the movie, and like it was just like with every sentence and every word, we would just go into the synchronicity inside of the synchronicity inside of the synchronicity, and I freaking loved it. And I've been having so much fun. And I love you, Jenna, and thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you, Bernie. I think I saw your hand next. Do you want to check in?
Bunny sounds like Bernie. When I played baseball, one of the manager called me Bunny. So I link up with you, Bunny, in a couple of ways, especially what you said about anticipating something that Jenna might do. And Jenna can show you, if you want, on our chat that I told her that on the chat that I really liked her finicky episodes from which I saw yesterday. And I was kind of hoping I was going to suggest to you, Jenna, that you do that today. So I'm with Bunny in anticipating something from Jenna.
And I'll share from between my two breakout groups. In the first breakout, I also had 24, so I'm connected with Buddy. Everyone's connected with Buddy. Buddy, I think you are radiating out. had the smoke signals too. And I was with Sue. She's had to go now, but she had seen repeating ones, just one, and then one, and one, lots of ones. And she was like, I guess I just couldn't follow the activity really well, because it was all these ones. So she settled on 11 to look at the symbol. But then in my second breakout, I was with Jenna and Shweta, and then Shweta said, oh yeah, I keep seeing 1 all the time. It's all the repeating ones. So there was this like continuity that they didn't speak with each other, but what they shared with me connected more across the conversation. So that's really cool as well. And yeah, just it's been really fun to talk with some of the different people, especially some of you that are here for the first time. So yay, thank you for coming and trying us out, giving us a shot. And we really, really hope that you'll keep coming back. Just so I don't forget to say, we have a monthly speaker series as well as this Coincidence Cafe. And we're always looking for new formats and new things to try, so we don't have to keep repeating ourselves. So if you have an idea of a new format for what we can do together here in Coincidence Cafe, I really encourage you to send me a private chat, make sure that we have each other's emails and we can keep talking, because we want to keep this group going and keep making it interesting and exploring in new ways together. We have this 90 minutes, but how we spend the time is flexible. So just so glad so many of you have given us a chance. And those who are returned, thank you for returning, and keep spinning on your ideas for how to co-host and help us keep this whole thing spinning. So I see Diana next, and then Kirby after that. And come off mute, Diana.
Yeah, sorry, I was responding to the lovely Shanice in a private message. But yeah, so my most recent breakout was with Shanice and Dr. Beitman, or Bernie, or Bunny. And I really just enjoyed my first overall Coincidence Cafe. I am new here. I am a recent graduate from the University of Michigan, and I still live in Michigan, not just outside of Ann Arbor. And this space being an opportunity to kind of explore the coincidences, synchronicities, those things that we experience in our life that aren't visible to the naked eye. I think it's unique to have the capacity in a way to be able to talk about those things and explore them and be interested in them. And so I just, as a final thought, wanted to express immense gratitude for this space and for the work that you've all done to put it together, and everybody else who's taken the time to join us.
Thanks, Diana. Thanks so much. Kirby, next to you. Come off mute.
Okay. I have a question for the whole group, is that how would you start a synchronicity? Like, I'm just curious. I mean, like for me, I know about the meditation, but it seems like it's very random. So like I like to ask the group, what is I mean, what would you do to start like a whole chain of synchronicities? So like I'm just curious, because it's like we have a group setting, and I think sometimes you are going to get some good answers from different people.
Yeah, thanks. I think Diana and Brooke maybe want to jump in and add to that.
Yeah, Kirby, I would say I think meditation is a great way, and I like that we opened up early in the cafe with that. I also find that two other forms. One is like trying to connect with my mind through my breath. So breath work or just engaging in physical activity very mindfully. But also recently within the last year, I've really indulged in the power of music to kind of just meditate on music that I've grown up with, that's new to me, and kind of just feel how the music is making me feeling and kind of questioning why that is. So if that answers your question, those are probably the three main ways that I'm able to tap into synchronicities.
Cool. Because I've seen a whole lot, because I charted for the past like almost 2.5 months. I charted like 110 synchronicities. But when I come here, I just like to learn more, because it's always cool. Because I think it's something that you keep on learning, that you never stop learning about it. But that's pretty cool. All right, thank you.
Yeah, this came up a little bit in the second breakout. I was with Shweta and Jenna, And we talked about that question of the second visualization practice we did about surprise, and if we're comfortable or uncomfortable, or how open are we to that sensation of surprise. But then Jenna had talked in her remarks following that practice also about awe. And those are quite different states, because surprise is sort of more that fact of being jolted, something unexpected. But awe is something about its meaning, gets back into the meaningfulness of it. If it can invoke that wonder or awe, or delight, surprise, that connecting it to other things, or learning something from it, even if it's a surprise that felt negative, we can learn from it. It can still enhance us, and it can create connections or insight. And Jenna was talking in our breakout about how as you begin to heal and do some of that work, you're less afraid of the times when it seems like a jolt that's an unexpected, unpleasant thing versus something immediately wondrous. It's easier to be open to the wondrous. But even the negative stuff, if we do the work to kind of think about what it means and to kind of attend to healing, then we can feel more prepared to just stay open and not need it to be pleasant. We can just be open. And no matter what it happens, even if it's surprising, and still feel that sense of awe, even if it's connected to something else we're still learning from or healing from or working with. So I think that's a big thing I would say that helps us to encourage more synchronicities, more meaningful coincidences to arise, or just to be open to noticing what was already arising in ways we may have been a little bit shut down. So the more we feel prepared and less attached that it has to be positive or I don't want to be open to it, because we just don't get to control that. But how meaningful it is, or how much we learn, how much healing it offers to us, isn't based on whether it was pleasant or unpleasant. There's always that potential to be learning. So I think that's another tactic that can help us to increase our experience of coincidence, synchronicity. So that was my thought on that. Brooke, how about to you? Come off mute.
Hi, I will add to what you just said that for me, sometimes with awe, there's a little bit of fear in there, sometimes not. Just a side note. So it's not always like a good thing for me. But to respond to Kirby's question, and I don't know, Kirby, that you do need any more synchronicities if you really have that many going on. But I feel like you've asked this question before, and I might have given this response before, but like if for me, and this came up in the breakout room, it's still a co-creation. So if you want to start a new chain, I still see it as like a co-creation where you can literally pick a random image, an owl, a random image, a rainbow, or something really specific. And then that's your portion of the co-creation. Then let go, don't look for it, don't think about it, and it will show up, right? Like that's kind of how I see it. If you want to start a new chain, that's one way, as well as meditation, which I think it was Diana mentioned. I do a lot of meditation and have a lot of synchronicities. So that's my 2 cents.
Cool. Thanks.
And Brian, I see you next.
One thing you can try, Kirby, is to just put the energy out there and ask the universe to show you something that is meaningful to you, to show you what would be good for you to see, and just sit back and look at what happens from that, how things flow from that.
All right, thanks.
I want to add, if I can too, outside of the comfort zone. So when we're in our normal patterns, it's a lot harder for us to, I have found that the more I am like either on vacation or I'm out of the comfort zone, the more striking everything becomes. And another thing more recently had come in that I was guided to, and you know how like a lot of in shamanic practices all throughout, when people get where they're drumming, they're out of their mind, they're kind of like just moving all about like that kind of energy, I find, where you're just flopping around however your body will go. for me, like really, really, really juices it up and kind of surprises the universe and makes it just kind of, I don't know, I just see like a snow globe being mixed up, and it allows things to settle in a new way. It almost feels like a timeline shift when I do things like that. So even just every once in a while, just going or just doing something that you wouldn't do, just snapping, anytime. Also play. I think play is such a huge part of it. Just doing something for absolutely no other reason other than it feels good. Those are going to put you in the highest states where you'll be able to notice things. And then I wanted to also just mention too that not only do I have the Synchronicity Fairy video, but I also do help people. I'm a feelings coach. If you guys want to reach me too, it's feelingscoach@yahoo is my Gmail, or is my email. And I'll tell you also about some other ways that we can connect. I want to make sure and share that. But because I do have the synchronicity thing, and I do a lot of healing and talking about like non-ordinary reality, and I see patterns, and I'm really big on belief work with people, I have found that the clients that I work with, that we do shadow work and we actually resolve and heal, like Juliet was saying, when people have had traumatic experiences around surprise and shock, and then they're able to be present in their body and actually feel it through in a new way, it allows them to open up. Between that and then the belief work of knowing that they can infuse more meaning into things, and that they can be more of a deliberate creator in that way. The combination of both those things, I find the clients that I work with at the beginning have very little synchronicities, and toward the end of the work that we do together, it just absolutely is very commensurate with the kind of inner work that you're doing with yourself. I think synchronicities can open up in a big way too. So, and then I'll just say it now, and then that'll be the end of pretty much me, and then anyone else that wants to say stuff. I want to mention that I have, if you like all manner of non-ordinary reality subjects, when it comes to synchronicity, dreams, we do divination, we talk about all these different things. There's a free group that I also host that's within Facebook. It's called Within ... a group healing experience. And it's free, but it's an active group, so that you know how like sometimes online you don't know if anyone's going to see your post anywhere nowadays. Now you can be sure that there's somebody always going to be there and be supportive for whatever you're sharing. And again, it's free. Sometimes I want to just make note that there can be like there's some paid workshops that get advertised in there, but you do not need to pay anything to be able to be a part of the group. So if anyone wants to contact me, you can do that. The Synchronicity Fairy at TikTok, which again, you don't have to be signed up for TikTok in order to see them. And then if none of those things feel good, but you still want to connect with me in some way, you can just find me at feelingscoach@yahoo. And that's pretty much the end of what I would say, but I am so eager to, I'm willing to stay on and hear everything. And sounds like, is it Shanice? Do you want to go next?
Well, let me jump in just in case anyone needs to go, since we did get to our 90-minute point. We've hopped a little over the 90-minute point because everybody's having such a good groove here in the conversation. We're just delighted to see everyone. So please do come back the third Saturday of every month. We do Coincidence Cafe. And we also have our speaker series. So please go to thecoincidenceproject.net on our website. You can click on participate, and that shows you all our events where we invite and encourage your participation. And our next speaker series event is going to be with Sue Keens, who was on the call earlier, talking about astrology, and she focuses on the very small outer planets that are smaller than Pluto or about Pluto's size, and how they influence the kind of understanding of astrology. It's a really unique thing that she's done that creates a more complex and maybe holistic kind of picture. And she thinks a lot about synchronicity on the ground, and then what astrology says about it in kind of the macro level. So I hope you'll join us for that too. It's going to be on, I think it's the 28th of June. We'll be posting it on Monday. So just keep an eye out for that. And we we love hearing from all of you guys. So, and we want to really thank Jenna for her time and her expertise and lending her insights to all of us here as we come together, because it's just fantastic to build this together with all of you. It's like Brooke says, that all of this is about co-creation. And Coincidence Cafe was created to be a space of co-creation. So, we can't do this without each of you. You all make it what it is in the breakouts and the full group, and hopefully it can be a space, like Jenna was saying, where you can share and be heard, that you're always received and you're always accepted and supported, whatever it is that you need to share in the breakouts or in the full group. And you can reach out to us, the hosts or myself and others from the Coincidence Project, through our website. The coincidenceproject@gmail.com is our email that both Bernie and I, as the president and vice president of our nonprofit organization, we check that email account. And we are a nonprofit. We keep all of these free and open to everyone, but it isn't free to create and sustain an organization. It actually takes a lot to make it go and keep it going. So if you have the means to donate, we really would welcome your donation. We're doing a spring campaign about flourishing through synchronicity. And I think we've talked a lot about how it can help us to flourish today. In just a moment in the chat, I'll post a link where you could go if you do have the means to contribute. We'd really welcome that. We're doing our campaign now through the end of the June calendar month, which is often the end of the fiscal year for some businesses and things. But we're always able to take donations, and we have a donate page on our website. So you can also go anytime, thecoincidenceproject.net/donate. And we really appreciate it, because we're keeping all of this free. That's our commitment to all of you. So we'll stay on a few more minutes here to make sure we've had a chance to hear from everyone. We'd love to hear from any of you who haven't had a chance to come off mute and share. Shanice, you are next.
Oh, I just want to say thank you, Jenna. This was awesome, and I just wanted to add to what Kirby was asking. Being in this group, I don't know if y'all noticed it, but the last group we had was the energy was like really, really high. And this one was really, really high. So being in this group definitely, and like I had put earlier in the chat when we was watching the video, it supercharges you to have more synchronicities. And like I told you too in the group, you writing them down, they're just going to continue, because the more you notice them, the ball is going to keep rolling, and they're going to get stronger and bigger. And keep coming. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Jenna. You are awesome, love.
Anybody else, especially anybody we haven't heard from yet?
Thank you. I enjoy it very much. I'm still a newbie. Open my eyes, really is. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Daisy. And where are you again? Where do you live?
Chicago.
In Canada?
No, I'm from Chicago.
Oh, from Chicago. I'm sorry, it cut out for a second. Yeah, Chicago.
Right.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I think our hope is to have Brian that was here on the call. I think he's signed off now, but he wants to be one of our hosts next month. So if you're interested in co-hosting with Brian, he is a really insightful, intuitive guy, and we're working to kind of settle upon our topic, or sometimes we have a pair of somewhat loosely related topics between the co-hosts. So we'd love to welcome a new partner for Brian for that time. And I usually meet with our co-hosts for like an hour's Zoom call where we talk about what we can do with our 90-minute cafe and develop our plan. So that'll be our next cafe in June as well. Brooke, I see your hand.
Oh, sorry, I'm already off mute. I'm on a phone. It's hard to toggle. I just wanted to say something real quick, and that I, in the last week, have been thinking about, a sort of a new theory for myself about synchronicity, because I've had a lot of theories and I've enjoyed coming to this group and hearing them. And probably this has been said at some point, but I don't know if I've heard it specifically. I feel like because I have so many small ones that happen all the time, and then so many sort of mind-blowing ones, like there's such a range. I have come to the conclusion for myself that it feels more like it's just all a conversation with God, the universe, whatever. If that is a person, if I personified that, I'm having a conversation with them, like then sometimes they're funny because it's like somebody's joking with me, and sometimes they're a warning because it's like, hey, like your friend saying don't do the thing, or a parent, you know. And so I guess that's just my new outlook, and I'm curious if that resonates with people, or you know, that's been brought up probably before, but that's my like new thing that I'm into.
Marcia, I wonder if you want to respond to that. Sounds like something you sent me in the private chat.
Yes, 2 thumbs up. By whatever name one comes to call this knowingness that we are not alone in this universe, and that for me, I love the expression as within, so without, as without, so within. There's a dance there that's going on. I call that the coincidence all the time. And the more we are able to train ourselves to be as wholly in the play of the moment as possible, right here, right now, then the more what is seemingly out there matches what's going on in here. And there's this marvelous, continually surprising, delighting, and then maybe mundane, because you realize that's all there is. And it isn't so much as, oh, wow, look at that. Although those are great when those happen. Like, oh, look at that. And getting freer to let yourself be that dance, expressing yourself physically, emotionally, mentally. So yes, it's conversation with God, with source, with the universe, with ourselves as that greater star stuff. So namaste, everybody. It's very early in the morning here in Santa Rosa, so I'm glad I was able to make the effort. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Blessed everybody for being.
Absolutely. Thank you. And a bunch of sweet comments in the chat too. So thanks to everyone for posting and for playing. You know, it is that dance and that play. And, you know, I loved what Jenna was saying about, you know, all different ways to get out of your comfort zone, including sort of shamanic states, meditation, and just flailing around, shaking it up. Bernie and I both do a lot of conscious dance, which is there are no steps, there are no rules. You just put on some music and you move. And you don't have to feel like a dancer. You don't have to be trained. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even have to be slightly coherent. You can be as weird and wild as you want. There's a beautiful book called Shaking Medicine. It's about the history of like shaking and moving and, you know, like Jenna was saying, like being in the slow globe and just slinging yourself around. There's a real tradition with all shamanic faiths and most religions and lots of indigenous cultures of movement, getting into our bodies and using that movement and that flow and that freedom, which is like dance, like play, to get us into a new place, you know, that we have this potential to tap into it. And it's interesting because it has that history of how shaking comes up in so many places and then is often repressed because there's a freedom and we're easier to control when we're shut down and despairing. So don't do that. Don't get shut down. Don't despair. There can be meaning and it's up to us to make it. You know, it's our decision to say this world is meaningful. We could make a choice that it is meaningless. And that's a sad sort of choice. So maybe you felt that in the first guided practice, you know, the difference in your body of trying to force yourself into a stance of it's meaningless versus what happens when we say it's meaningful. It really is up to us that we can make these connections and make meaning and use it as this conversation with the universe, with whatever's greater than ourselves that's out there. Bernie sometimes also talks about it as ECHO, the Earth Coincidence Control Office, and that it would be part of like MECO, the Milky Way Coincidence Control Office, and that'd be part of the CCCO, the Cosmic Coincidence Control Office, that there might be these layered kind of, as Brooke was saying, you know, mentors, friends, cheerleaders, parents, higher selves. There's so many ways we talk about it, angels, guardians, guides, lots of different phrases that might tap into some of this potential, that something is in a dialogue with us, that we're there and they're there too, and that things put in our path, even if they seem like a negative coincidence because they're not immediately pleasant or resolving in some way, all of it is still information. All of it is communication and connection and meaning, that it all can have meaning on the path. So yeah, I think Bunny, we saw your hand maybe again.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, well, I want to say thank you, of course, for this, and I'm looking forward to coming back again. But what actually the biggest take I'm taking from this, and you actually ended on that, is I had never thought or considered, and Jenna has been teaching me about the whole balance and keeping things in neutral, and when you outweigh something, like the universe will kick you back to try to keep you balanced. And I had never really considered looking at the uncomfortable or undesirable coincidences, synchronicities, that, and looking for them in that way as well, is like going to be expansive, because that's where you have free will choice, is actually when you're in balance and you kind of hold them both. So, because I've always taken synchronicities as a wink from the universe that I was on the right path, but knowing that there were also, I'm probably missing so many more synchronicities by not seeing those other ones as well. So that's what I wanted to say.
I think, I'm sorry, most people don't make negative things meaningful. They try to push them away, right? And it's like, if you make it meaningful, like, I don't know, for me, I see patterns everywhere. I think it's 100% synchronism. And I think that this is just my opinion, but I think that there's nothing that's not, causing and affecting and that kind of thing. And so even like I've done enough stuff where I know that if I put out negative energy, I see it come back so clearly now, because I've cleaned up so many of the other things. It stands out like a sore thumb, and it becomes humorous. And so that way I can like infuse, like someone was saying earlier, like the humor in even the like, oh, of course that's going to happen, because I said, like, I yelled at someone that cut me off. Of course I'm going to get that back or whatever. And it's always like, as meaningful as we make it as a choice, the more we will see it back, because we've given it consciousness. And so the consciousness, it becomes, we're aware putting it out, we're aware getting it back. But you can absolutely be very unaware, and then it just seems fluky. And then every once in a while, then it'll just be the 1111s every once in a while that feels like not all the time. So it can, the better it gets, the better it gets. And it can be where your entire world is nothing but synchronicity. Thank you.
Yeah. And Laura added to the chat that it's important to also pay attention to dreams and intuition as well as synchronicities. Absolutely. And they become forms of additional synchronicity. We can keep expanding our definition of what meaningful coincidence or synchronicity are. And I think that intuition is so important, and that everything's in conversation with us. Everything's alive. Everything has the potential for sentience, for meaning, for information, including dreams and intuitive things, divination, doing, tarot or oracle cards, or going into meditative or trance states. Someone was saying, dance is easy, but just don't ask me to sing in front of people. And, that's another one. A lot of people have that. They don't want to sing and make noise, but there are improvisation groups where you can just get into making some sounds, not feel like you have to be a professional, trained, perfect being, just like conscious dance tries to let people do any sort of movement, not even call it dance necessarily, because sometimes we say, oh, I'm not a dancer. We have a certain definition of that, but we can all move, we can all make sounds. We can tap and make rhythm. We don't have to use our voice to add sound and resonance and rhythm and harmony to what's unfolding. So, if you are a little hesitant about singing, I would also say I'm a singer. And so, another good way to get into a non-ordinary state, get out of your comfort zone, is seek out, some sort of jam group. And if it's drumming or something, because anybody can tap a rhythm, you can just tap every once in a while when you know that they're going to tap, and you can get more creative as you want to do it. You can also just hum. A lot of times in one of the conscious dance groups that I go to, we start with humming, and just that hum together, like the hive of the bees, that we're all the hum, sustaining that sound and feeling that resonance, that it's our voice and our bodies. So maybe join me just for a second. I don't know how much any microphones would pick it up, but just hum for a couple of breaths. As you're breathing out, just make a little noise in your space. Hum. If you feel like making a few other noises, you could hum or woo, just a little bit of resonance. Yeah, you can use a tube. Hum. Marsha's gonna get the didgeridoo going. We can't hear it because it's on mute, but it's there. Feel that vibration that we're all sharing right now, because that's part of that conversation with the universe. We're all in vibration. We're all sharing it. So do one more little hum here, and then we're gonna go to Kirby again. Hum. Yeah, John Carlos says it's making him feel like making music. And just remember, we don't need permission. We don't need a capital letter singer, a capital letter musician, a capital letter dancer. We don't need any capital letters. We all move, we all vibrate, we all resonate, and we can all hit a tuning fork and let it resonate for us. So even if the voice doesn't feel like the accessible place, that's not the end of it. You have many opportunities. Just make sound, be part of the resonance of the universe. Just step in and play, be part of it. Do that co-creation we were talking about earlier. Yep, co-creation. Kirby, back to you. Oh, let's see. It doesn't show you on mute, but I'm not hearing you. Maybe try to mute and off mute again. No, we lost your sound. Oh no. He might try to join back in. Yes, as Giancarlo put in the chat, we are the living music, the living waters, all part of the vibrating whole of the universe.
Can I respond to Jenna's mirror comment with something that happened yesterday to me? Like,
sure.
Can you hear me? Okay. I was fighting with my brother. Yes, we're both adults, and I did scream at him to shut up. Yes, I did do that. And then right after, and I was feeling bad about it, but it was heated. I went to like Home Goods and I was in line to buy something, and there was a giant poster framed there that just said "shut up" an exclamation point all on it. And I was like, that is just the mirror right there. It's just reminding me I was being jerked. Like, how often do you see a poster that's all it said? It was a thing. So yeah, it's the mirror. And that wasn't like a cute wink, you're on the right path. That was here's a reminder, you're being a dick. Sorry for the language. Stop it. So that was my experience.
Yeah, thank you. So Kirby, we see you join back in. Let's give it a try. Can we hear you? Nope, we're not getting it. I'm so sorry. Maybe post it to the chat and I'll try to articulate it to the group if you can type it in for us. Yeah, I think a few people are needing to sign off now that we've done 2 hours, which is a good stopping point. So Kirby, feel free to email it to me as well, and we can try to get to it next time, or just write down your question and we'll get to it next time. So please come back for Coincidence Cafe. We'll see you next month. Oh, you can go to thecoincidenceproject.net/donate if you're able to contribute to the project. We really would appreciate it. It's something that we need. And if you're connected to people that like to fund things for human consciousness and spiritual awakening and positive social change, those are the things we're trying to help do with our project. So we'd love to get connected to grants or organizations that help fund these type of initiatives as well. Jenna, thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so glad to have everyone back. All right, until next time. Be well, everybody.
Thank you.